see.
So I want to welcome everyone to the first episode of Misfit Toys. We are having a royal episode. We have the amazing Queen Mona Lott. How are you?
I'm fabulous. How the fuck are you? Oh, wait, can we say the F word now?
I brought my my scepter and my crown because we are going to be with royalty. So I was like, okay, if we're going to be, we're going to be holding court. So we got to
Yes, Queen.
You might want to have that ball checked out, though. That ball looks like it has anal warts. So
this is my Corona scepter. Yes. Unfortunately, it has been around the block. It has been around the block. We got Mr. Colin from the UK, our favorite fan. Love you, Colin. What's going on? I want to introduce you to the amazing Mona Lott. Mona, tell us, our fans are all over the world, London, UK, Wales. Where are you?
I am in Denver, Colorado, in the good old USA.
Denver, Colorado. What is Denver? For those who don't know, where is Denver and what is it known for?
Denver is the Mile High City. 5280. We are 5,280 feet above sea level, which makes us the Mile High City.
Nice. And
wow.
What are they also known for as being one of the first in America to do what?
Well, I've heard people call it the Queen City, but you don't hear that very much anymore. And I know why it's called the Queen City. I just can't remember right now.
That's why.
That's how insignificant it was to me. I'm like, I don't know. Queen
Just
City.
reclaim it for yourself, boo.
That's right.
So tell us, so you are obviously in your queen regalia. How long have you been a queen?
Actually, I've been doing this for a little over 25 years now.
Girl, you just came out of the womb. You came out of the womb a queen. You were like,
I didn't become a queen until I was in my 20s, but you forget I'm old as dirt now, so
well,
it's been a long time.
You don't look a day over 25, so I don't know.
Shit. Cut me in half and count the rings, girl. You'll see.
You gotta count my rolls to know how old I am,
So what was your inspiration? Because
now, bitch, there's no way you're that old of anything. You look fabulous.
The college, it's I don't need Botox. I just get French fries, and then those are my fillers.
So
this is the construction project right here.
He's asking us if we changed our name from Comedy Under COVID. Well, is it partly because of Trump? No. I think it was just, we felt that it was time to really showcase more unique voices, more female energy, and really put that out there. And yes, Black Lives Matter. You know what? Pink Lives Matter also. And we are just putting the pink lives out there and giving them a platform to share their beauty, their perspective, their comedy. And I'm really honored to have Mona Lott on here and just having that queen energy to share with everybody in the world. But yeah, Trump's just not on my mind. I try not to think about it too much because he gives me diarrhea. Like I just get explosive diarrhea when I think of
that
him.
Brand of Cheetos is like the shit. We don't want that.
My, where our minds go. I'll tell you.
So tell us, Mona, what was your inspiration to become a queen?
I have to be honest. When I first saw drag queens, well, you're from Denver area, so you know Fort Collins, very small town. And I saw the queens, and they came out, and they lip synced to a song. And I'm looking at my friends, and I'm like, "Is that it? Is that all they do?" I'm like, "We're queer for Christ's sake. We are the best actors, the best dancers, the best musicians." I'm like, "I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna do this right." So way back in the day, before anybody even thought about drag queens singing live, I was singing live.
Love it. So
nice.
Everyone's all about RuPaul's Drag Race because everyone's seen it. They know what that's really kind of mainstream.
It is, there's so much good and bad considering drag race. I mean, first of all, you got to give Ru credit. She has brought it and made it commercial. She's brought it out of the closet. But at the same time, I kind of like being underground. You know what I mean? There was something special about being deviant, and being, hiding under. There was something special about that. Now everybody who's seen an episode of fucking Drag Race thinks they know how to.
Oh, she froze on me. Maria, are you frozen? Are you there?
Drag, And I'm like, don't even go there. I've been doing it for 25 years. So, what's that?
Oh no, you just froze for us on a second. It was just like.
Are you? Oh my God, he's such a twink. Pimping in the mirror, making, honey, you look good. Take your shirt off, drop your pants. We'll all be happy.
I'm getting there. I'm getting out of my Rona shape. I do my little push-ups. I put these weights in the middle of the floor. I'm gonna show you actually. So I keep my little weights and I just put them on the floor. So if I don't actually pick them up, I stub my toe. And so I'm like, I just force myself. I just lay them around the house. And like once every other day, I actually pick them up.
I don't know, honey, but you got plenty of shirtless pics on your site, and I spanked my monkey just a couple times too.
Iggy is a handsome man.
I was like, shit. Who knew he had that body under there? You should be naked all the time, Iggy, all the time.
Maybe next episode I'll start doing it shirtless when I get my COVID-19 off.
Honey, I have always said if I had the body, I'd be doing porn, but instead I'm just stripping downtown,
So did you, are you gay?
Am I what?
Gay.
How dare you? How dare you? Well, of course, bitch. Does a 300-pound, 52-year-old man put on a dress if he's not gay?
In these days, I don't assume anything. And after living in Los Angeles, I literally do not assume anything.
If I ever met a drag queen who tried to tell me he was straight, I would take him to my bedroom and be like, yeah, you went straight back to my bedroom. That's what you did.
Take him back to my bedroom. What? Don't be greedy.
I'm not sharing. You're out there in LA. You got way more opportunities than I do,
Well.
Mona, Colin's watching with the big beard. He wants you to give him a drag name.
Who wants a drag name?
Colin, who's been watching. He's the one who looks like a Viking with the big beard. He's like our super fan who we love. What would Colin's drag name be? If you click on the live comments, there he goes. There is a picture of him.
Okay, let me see here.
What would we call him?
We could make his last name Inyotes and his first name Phil. Phil Inyotes.
Phil what?
Phil in your oats.
Phil in your Phil and your oats. Phil in your oats.
Damn, what a fucking tough crowd. Tough crowd.
I love it.
Well, can I have a drag name?
Yes, girl.
Oh, you are too beautiful to be a drag queen. What would we call you? I knew an Anita cocktail, but you would be a great Anita man. Anita man.
Ooh, Anita man.
Now you know how the game goes, don't you?
Or how about Anita Burger?
Your drag name, the first name is the street you grew up on, and the second name is the name of your first pet. Or I reversed it. Your first name is the name of your first pet, and then your last name is what street you grew up on.
I would be Bella Via Marisol.
Yeah.
I would be Poseidon, Syracuse.
Oh, I love that.
I love the House of Syracuse. Yes.
Poseidon, Syracuse, right next to Lowry Airport. Poseidon, Syracuse.
I feel like my drag name sounds too much like
Poseidon. I only think of shrimp whenever I.
So I came out in Denver. That was my first time to going to a gay club. I snuck into the Paradise Garage, right next to the Foxhole, across the tracks.
Oh, honey, how old are you?
Girl.
Oh my God, that's a long time ago.
Yeah. This is before Tracks, okay? This is before Tracks 2000, Tracks. No, I snuck into the Paradise Garage under the little rope, snuck in thing. And then I had this battle that I thought that if I could pray the gay away. And this Jew joined a Baptist ministry after that, thinking that I could pray the gay away. And like, I literally for a year became a Baptist minister. I was like studying to be a Baptist, trying to pray it away.
Wow.
But that's okay. You can do that because I actually am an ordained minister. No shit. I'm truly an ordained minister thanks to 5 minutes on the internet. That's what happened. Seriously, it took me less than 5 minutes to apply at the New Life Church, and now I perform wedding ceremonies. So
I love it.
If I get married,
I did it right before the Supreme Court made gay marriage legal, because I kept thinking there's going to be all these gay couples who want to get married. Who better to officiate than a drag queen, right?
Yes. Yes, Mom.
So I had.
What was your?
Please call me Reverend Mona from now on, please.
Reverend Mona. Okay, I love it. How was your coming out?
I love it.
Did your parents know? Was it a big splash? Was it a surprise? Was it?
You know what? When I was growing up, my family never really talked about sex at all. It was just like something we didn't talk about. We didn't refer to it. So nobody ever bothered me that I never had a girlfriend. You know, no one, they just assumed it was, you know, because I'm fat and ugly and that's why I had no girlfriend.
You had the fat.
We had the same upbringing then.
Oh, please. Yeah.
I didn't bring home a man and they didn't question it.
They didn't. Well, I told my sister first because she was getting married, and I have to admit I was a little pissy about it. I was a little upset because I kept thinking, you know, she's getting all this accolades and all these presents, and everybody, where the fuck are my presents? You know, nobody's going to give me shit. And they didn't, you know. So I had to tell her because she didn't understand why I was being so nasty to her. So I came out to my sister, and she was really sweet about it. And I don't know. I mean, I was always afraid my family would, you know, turn their back on me or something. But I should have known. I mean, deep down, I knew my family wasn't going to do that, you know.
Oh, that's really sweet.
For another 25 years.
Love that. So I came out at Stapleton Airport.
Yes, it's not Stapleton anymore, though, you know.
Oh, well, when it was Stapleton, now they moved it.
Yeah.
Bum.
Black Lives Matter, they changed it last week. I'm not kidding, because Mayor Stapleton was a racist son of a bitch. So they had a deal. Yeah, and so last week, that whole subdivision, they voted to change the name of Stapleton.
Oh.
So it's going to be called something else now. Yeah.
Well,
I'm here for it.
The world is a changing, girl.
I love it. I was coming home from university, and I bleached my hair blonde, got my ears pierced, had some iridescent blue shirt on with my ruby red Airwalks, and I was the first off the plane. And my parents, they were just like, oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. And I tried to talk to my mom, and she's like, don't touch me. Don't fucking talk to me. I'm like, Mom, what's going on with these earrings? And I'm like, I like the symmetry. Bullshit, you sucking the dick in college.
I would have looked at it and said, so did you, Mom. You sucked the plenty of dick. I wouldn't be here if you did.
I wish I was that clever. Oh my God. It was awful. She basically threatened either to kick me out of the house and stop paying for university, or for me to take out my earrings and be straight. And so
first, let me translate for all the Americans. University is what we call college.
Oh,
yeah. I want to clear that up, you know.
So
how do they feel about it now? Do they?
It took her 10 years. It took her 10 years to accept it. And check this out. So I agreed to the straightness and all that stuff. And then we get to the airport, and I'm going back to university for the spring semester. And I overpacked, and she unzips my luggage, and she sees a pair of assless leather chaps and a harness. And she literally yanks them out in front of everybody at the check-in. This is a gay pants. This is a homosexual assless pants. And I'm like, no. And we're playing tug of war.
Oh my God.
And the gay steward, the gay flight attendant was like, girl, you are getting upgraded to first class. This shit is real. And that was the first time I ever flew first class.
You were not very smart for a young gay boy, because a young gay boy would have packed a cowboy hat and a kerchief in there too. And then Mom, it's my cowboy drag.
Oh my
I'm
god.
not dating a cowboy.
I was young, dumb, and
Full of cum.
yeah.
And you must not be young now because those bars have been closed for a while. So at least 20 years.
I miss those days. Like I miss those days. Now it's all online and
It is.
It's no one goes out just to go out anymore.
I keep telling these kids, you totally missed out on cruising. They have no idea what cruising was like. And cruising was so fun. I mean, it's great. You remember Cheeseman Park?
Girl.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I dropped so much seed in that park. Some of those trees are my kids.
There's a Mona Garden. There's just a whole
Oh my god.
and Cheeseman Park.
So explain. So cruising, is this like actually just cruising, like for trade or for?
A lot of places were cruise places. There was a rest stop on I-25 that I would cruise, and the park was a place where I would cruise.
Oh, is that what you called it, cruising?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was really like a social experiment, because I remember the first time I went, I had no idea what's going on, and you're watching the cars, and one would park in front of the other, and then the one would flash his headlights, and then the other one would flash his tail lights, and then one will go into the bathroom, then the other one would follow in. It was really like,
wow.
It was dramatic. It was exciting. There was this.
Oh my god!
Is he gonna kill me or is he gonna fuck me? Is he gonna kill me or fuck me? I don't know.
Living on the edge.
You still have that going on, but now it's in your own house.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Yes, we don't get to just go out and meet somebody at McDonald's. We have to do it.
In Istanbul, the main cruising spot. So in Istanbul, because I used to go and travel and work a lot in Istanbul. In Istanbul, the #1 Cheeseman cruising thing was the McDonald's at Taksim Square. And that double-decker McDonald's, you knew that upstairs bathroom was not for nuggets. That was...
Oh, it was for nuggets.
That were nuggets. That's right.
Definitely for some nuggets.
Big Mac.
Ooh, Colin's asking me, it's going to pop up here we go. If a beautiful woman laid down in front of me naked and said, take me to heaven, what would you say? Let's go, bitch. I'm not allergic to vagina. I love vagina. Vagina is delicious. It's just not my first choice.
Like, you're way nicer than me. I'd call the bitch an Uber and walk away.
I love women. Women are great. Yes, I know. My mom's autobiography is amazing.
I dabbled in it once, and it wasn't really for me. It just felt like foreplay the whole time, I was waiting for a dick. I was just waiting for it. I was like, oh, is it not showing up? Oh, okay, that's it. Okay.
That's actually the name of my next book, Waiting for a Dick.
So where's the craziest place you've had sex, Mona?
Oh, well,
because apparently it's in the park, behind the bushes, in the bathroom.
I did once in a park on a picnic table, but I don't think that counts as the craziest. I've had some wild places I've been. I've haunted a lot of dark corners in my life, So I can tell you the most absolute crazy night I ever had was when I was living in New York, and I just come out and I was naive and young, and I'm at this bar, the Eagle, and this man comes out of the bathroom. He walks by me, he stops, he backs up, and he goes, I like you. Can I take you home? And I'm like, well, yeah, of course. Why not? So he wanted to stop off somewhere on the way there. So we stop off by this adult bookstore. He goes in and he buys a little baggie of something and comes back out. And I'm thinking, I don't know, lube, lotion. I don't know what he got. So we get back to his place and I'm doing my thing, down there on my knees. And he hands me this little bottle. And I thought, well, it must be lotion. So I pour it on his dick. Poppers. I had no idea what poppers were. So he's jumping up and down. I just grabbed my clothes as fast as I could and ran.
Oh my!
And back then, poppers were like pure bleach almost.
No, it's
ammonia.
It burns your skin.
Okay, should you explain what poppers are to the people who don't know? Like maybe we have. I mean,
poppers is a little. They call it video head cleaner, but it's a highly corrosive. inhalant, and you inhale the fumes, and it gets you really high, and it relaxes you, so it doesn't hurt as much, and you get really, really high. I remember the first time I tried to be a bottom.
So that's fine.
I tried these poppers that Mona's talking about, and I'm trying to do the thing, and the dude moved, and they splashed all over my face. And I felt the burning, but I was like, I'm going to be a good bottom, and I'm just going to fight through the I turned into the Elephant Man, and the next day was gay pride. I had to watch the parade with half my face burned off. Like
I walked around looking like the Phantom of the Opera.
It was
back in the day, they were basically bleach. It was basically ammonia back then. Now, of course, all that's illegal, and you get this stuff that's watered down synthetic. But
you got to get it from Germany. You got to order it from Germany.
I had my first lesson recently in the different poppers, like, because I'm not really into bottoming like that.
Maria is a top. Maria is a top.
I mean, let's be real. My BDE is huge. I got that.
Well, that's where, man. I don't think
energy.
we'll ever pick up a 21-year-old again.
They be trying to holler at 21-year-olds. I tell you what. I'm like, no, I'm not that young. I'm fat. That's all it is. It's the collagen is excess collagen.
Oh, honey, you are not fat. You want to see fat? Step back. I'll take off my girdle.
Honey, we could roll around together. Don't you worry. I got a whole lot of loving right here. It's all good.
Sorry, last night state. Oh, yeah, okay.
I love it. Oh man, it was an interesting lesson.
Cottaging. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Oh, cottaging. That sounds so
proper and prim and proper.
We're going cottaging.
Should we go cottaging tonight? Fancy a bit of cottaging?
I don't know. Would you like to gobble my knob in the cottage?
That's great. I love it. Oh man.
So where are some of the places that you have performed, and some of the things that you're working on right now? What's going on in the Mona Lot world?
Well, currently, I actually went back to school right before this whole pandemic started. I went back to school for video and audio production.
Oh, cool.
Mainly because I have all these incredible ideas, and I did not have the technical ability to pull them off. So I'm actually working right now on a podcast. I guess it's not really a podcast because we're going to film it too. So it'll be more like a TV show. And that should be coming very, very soon. I'm working my butt off trying to get it done. It's going to be called the Bitch and Mona Lot Show.
Yes, I love it.
And my co-host is going to be a puppet dog named Bitch.
Puppet named Bitch. Right.
That's my co-host.
So what's it like in Colorado? We're in Cali. What is it like in Colorado with this COVID re-lockdown? Are you re-locking down? Were you locked down in the first place? What's it like? Just because I love asking everybody all over the world, how are you handling this global pandemic? What is it like for you? How has it changed your life?
Well, the thing was, I literally performed shows at bars and restaurants, and I had several weekly bookings. And the night before we were locked down, I did my last show, and we were joking about COVID. I actually walked on stage wrapped up in saran wrap, and then the next day, just overnight, I lost every bit of income I had because all my shows were canceled. Every bar, every restaurant was closed.
You hear that, guys? Venmo, Todd, Simmons D. Bitch is broke. Rona has robbed her blind.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm a smart bitch too. So people kept saying, well, why don't you do something online? Do something online. And I saw these queens going on and performing from their bedrooms and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to do something just cheap like that. I hate to call it what it is. I wanted to do something more professional. So I actually came up with an idea. I do custom video greeting cards. And people tell me who they want me to give it to. They tell me a little something about the person, and then I film an actual video clip of me saying, "Hi, Michael. Sarah wants to say happy birthday." And I also heard you got, and so I do that, and I can just mail them out to people.
how do I get that happening?
Go to my Facebook page and look up Mona Lots.
So I have to go, hold on, let's try to drop it into the chat. So you have to go to your Facebook page, is that?
Yeah, I have several postings on there about it. We saying, "Hi, Michael. Sarah wants to say happy birthday."
That's
and I also heard you got, yeah, and so I do that, and I can just mail them out to people.
How do I get that?
Yeah, and it's great because like anybody can order them from anywhere, so I'm, able to do that, and it's what's kept me alive during the thing. But I'll tell you what happened 2 weeks ago when they decided to open up the bars and the restaurants again. We booked my show to come back and resume doing my shows, and 2 days later, the governor shut down bars again. 2 days later, so my show, a day before my show was canceled, but everything's good now. Last night I went out and did my first show since COVID began.
That's amazing. Wow. That's amazing. We started the Misfit Toys.
Freeze again?
We are frozen from time to time. It's okay. Maria, you can still hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we started the Misfit Toys, which is a female comedy studio that specializes in unique comedic voices. And we had our first showcase on the 20th. Our next one's coming up on the 25th. We revamped, started doing this podcast to really help out women in comedy and really pushing that forward. And so for us, this has been a really awesome journey. And I'm just a big girl inside. Like I am just a big girl. Like all of my birthdays, it was like 20 girls and me at Chuck E. Cheese with like little pink crayons on and the thing. And I didn't know I went like when I went, like that was the first time I realized I wasn't like the other boys, is at those birthday parties. Like going to Chuck E. Cheese or going to Skate City, and all of my things are girls and all my toys are My Little Ponies. Like I was like, I'm not like the other boys. Something's not right.
My first clue was when I was on my knees sucking dick, and I'm like, I am not like the other boys. I'm not.
I love it, love it, love it.
Same. I mean, when I was at the gay clubs, I realized, I'm not like the other boys either. Well, that sucks.
Do you get a lot of crap about women aren't funny or women aren't good?
I hear a lot about it. Here's the thing. I'm funny, so I don't get people telling me much.
It just pisses me off.
It really does. I hear like it was more during I guess like the open mics, and I would hear those conversations, and they're like, a lot of women aren't funny, and it's like, yeah, because you guys aren't even trying to seek out women. Yeah. It's all, number one, it's all a boys club,
Yeah,
so of course, and regardless, like it's scary because women are, they're scared to go to these places because there's so much talk about sexual harassment and like assault in these clubs. And thank God, thank the universe. Like I'm a big girl and I got that BDE. And so men are like intimidated by me. Like they see me, even in my Hello Kitty, I'm like, I might have a blade under my tongue. I may not. You don't know. Do you want to find out? So I think that's where I'm lucky in that respect, that I don't have to I don't go in there thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm like someone gonna do something. I go in there thinking like, where we at though? Like, what's good? Like, when am I getting on stage? Like, I'll take up space in every sense of the word.
When I hear that, I just think of a list of female comics who broke barriers, since way back in Phyllis Diller's time, and all of them were, mentors to me. I learned so much from them. I was inspired more by Roseanne than anybody else. So those men, they're just doing fart jokes anyway. So
yeah, we could do fart jokes. Comedy is universal, and I mean,
of course, now here in Colorado, they all do marijuana jokes. That's all I hear every time I hear the comic show.
Wow.
I looked at my husband one night and I went, am I the only one not doing a bit about marijuana? Because, they all were doing it. It's like, I get it. It's legal. Okay.
What are we thinking about the election coming up? Because I know people are watching us laugh in America left and right. What are you
It's a mess, isn't it, Iggy? It's a mess. Neither side really is good. And because of that, I have actually decided to throw my hat into the ring. I am running for election for president. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Because look at me. I am the perfect state for the Oval Office. I mean, look, right? But on chain. Okay, never mind. I think the timing went off on that.
This party system is not working. I think that's the biggest problem. And doing elections the way that Australia does, I think would be a much smarter way, where you do a rank-based system, where you vote for your top 3, and then it adjusts basically. So it's not so then people who are not in the 1 or the 2 party still have a chance. And so if your number 1 doesn't win, then your number 2, your vote goes to them. And so doing a rank-based system, I think, would really change the playing field, because now it's just you're choosing between one steaming pile and another steaming pile that just might not be as hot.
Look, all I know is that I like to eat a lot of Mexican food, and if I win president, I just might turn Air Force One into Air Force Two, if you know what I mean.
So, Maria, what's been on your mind? What have you been struggling with during this lockdown?
What have I been what?
Maria, what have you been struggling with in this lockdown?
Just staying motivated. It's really hard to, like, sometimes there are days, you know, where you just you're like, why am I doing this? Like, really? Am I gonna get out of the house anytime soon? And then I eat my weight in chips, and you know, so I start over the next day. But
so keeping that fire going.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I've been like, what keeps me going is the Misfit Toys. Like, I'm gonna be real. I look forward to that. You know, I do like my writing groups, and like, I think you just have to find your inspiration. And even if it's like, for a minute, I couldn't do much else except like color, listen to music, and play with my plants and my crystals. Like, my name was Tiffany for a minute, and I was a basic bitch. You know, I don't know what it was, but I was ordering crystals online and ordering succulents and all that, and I was like, this is my life. I'm going to, I stopped myself. I think my breaking point was like, okay, that's enough. When I said, maybe I want to get a sound bowl. And then I was like, okay, maybe that's enough. You know, the ones where they like,
yeah, I know.
That thing, and I was like, oh no, I'm too.
I have one.
So your answer is to find community. So find a group that you meet with regularly.
Yes.
We have an amazing comedy community. I run workshops for women, and we meet once a week. If you're interested in joining one of our workshops, message me at Iggy LoveSky on Instagram or on Facebook. It's been amazing. We have the newest Misfits 3.0 is starting this Saturday. So if you're interested, message me. We'll discuss. Send me a link to your material, or maybe you're just trying it out for the first time. But that has helped me a lot. What about you, Mona? What keeps the fire going for you?
Well, I would love to say that during this whole lockdown, I've met my community and worked for my community, but actually Pornhub was free, and I spent the entire time jerking off every day, hours at a time.
I'm just not in the mood. Like, I just am so annoyed. Like, I'm just like, it's just nothing. It just doesn't even like. Nah.
I feel that.
Like, and I used to be like, like take a break. This is how bad. Like in university, I would take a break, like in the middle of class, and I would be falling asleep. I'm like, let me go just rub one out in the bathroom, and then I would come back to class. Like, I was that bad, and I didn't care. I'm like, there's no stalls. Fuck it, I'll just do it at the urinal. I didn't give a fuck. Like, I didn't give a fuck.
Please, I couldn't get through a work day without knocking one off.
I was a beast.
Oh my gosh. It's not that easy for girls, man.
Down now. But yeah, for me, the fire is the community and having someone to connect to. And there is something I have to say. It's like, I feel a lot of the time I'm the only one. And then what the community has done for me is that when I talk to, wait a minute, there are a lot of us going through a lot of the same stuff. A lot. Like, even, I'm like, I don't know if I'm like, we're on the same cycle, emotionally, physically. It just helps to know that we're all going through this.
Yeah, it really does.
It's okay. It's gonna be, you know, I don't know when it's gonna be okay, but oof, it's definitely.
I know I've posted a lot of really late night things on Facebook because that's when it hits me is 1 or 2 in the morning, and it's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
You know, and so I end up writing these long missives on Facebook about our world and what we're doing.
So have you had that question of like, what am I doing with my life? Like, what is this? What is it all for? What is the point of it? Have you been asking those questions from time to time?
You know, the only one really asking is me, because when you get as old as I do, you really start thinking about death again. You know, you do start thinking about it. And so that existential crisis, it happens. And I find myself now trying to figure out, what the hell am I here for? What am I doing? You know? And 3 years ago, I spent like 3 months in the hospital. I survived sepsis, and they didn't think I was going to make it. And that gives you a whole new view. You know, you come out and you're like, whoa, this is a different world.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I've
been through some shit. You seen
it
some
was.
shit.
Oh, I want to give a quick shout out to Miss Cassidy Staines, who's watching, fellow Misfit in San Diego. She was writing, women who were in the scene and hilarious. If folks think anything less, it's because they choose not to listen. Yeah, a lot of guys just don't listen. They just tune out. But the girls, I think the girls are bringing a fresh new, you know, face to comedy, and they're really, oh, there we go. There we go. Women fewer in the scene and hilarious. If folks think anything less, then it's because they choose not to listen. I hear that. I hear that. So what would be your service, Mona? If you were to do one thing to help the world, what is your service to the world?
Well, I've been servicing men for my whole life now. I don't know. Christ, what more can I do, for Christ's sake? You know? You know, this is funny because I actually, in my school, we had a guest speaker yesterday, and we were talking about our brand and our message. And I think I've got it narrowed down to, I think the message I give out is that the weirder you are, the stranger you are, don't be ashamed. Those are the things that make you special. And I've found that, you know, the people I like the most are the freaks and the weirdos, because they're the most interesting, you know? And the others can kiss our ass because we're really wrong. And so that's my service, is just reminding people how fucking fabulous they are, no matter what your mom and dad are telling you or your boss telling you, you know, fly your freak flag.
Hell yeah.
I love it. I love it. We got some messages coming in. Living for the day was one thing that Colin was talking about. Do you live for the day? Because I definitely, before Rona, I was living for the weekend or for the next month or for that vacation. And I was like, oh, let me just suffer through this so that I can do that. And this Rona thing has kind of like, wait a minute, am I enjoying now? Am I enjoying this moment? Am I enjoying what I'm doing today? And I started living a lot more for today because of that. I don't know. Has it been like that for you girls?
Yeah, actually, like, there's obviously downsides to this whole quarantine thing. Like, I really miss my family and my friends. You can't just go out and do things. But I'm honestly feel like I'm thriving more as like as a person. Like, I've done a lot of self-reflection. I just appreciate simple things. Like, I want to be outdoors. Like, I want to go on a hike. I want to go to the beach. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not thinking about going to the bars. I'm not thinking about, you know, like trivial things like that. And like, I enjoy things in the moment. Like, it sounds silly, but things like writing letters to my friends, coloring. Like, honestly, I love coloring. I'm not gonna lie. I love it. I'm wearing Hello Kitty, okay? So you can't be that surprised.
Girl, look, I love to color too. I am not lying.
Like, we need to get back to things that just bring us joy and not feel ashamed about it. Because I feel like a lot of the stuff that we feel weird, like we don't want to do because we feel like it's childish. And it's like, who cares? Like, if you enjoy it, do it, you know? Like, I'm not an artist. I don't know how to really draw, but I love colors and I love the medium. Like, I'm a paint by color. Paint by diamond. Have y'all done paint by diamond? I love that shit.
What about you, Mo?
Exactly what I was saying. Well, you know, I studied at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and they always talked about being in the moment. And now I see the Buddhists have always said that too. Live in the moment. And that's what's got
live in the moment. Live in the moment.
I would love to live in the moment.
Well,
I
but
think it'd be great.
it's like you're like I freaked out because I had no money coming in. I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? And then I just stop and I go, okay, right now I have a roof over my head. There's food in the kitchen. I'm safe. I'm okay. Let's live in this moment. Don't freak out about I'm gonna end up on the streets, homeless and starving. And that's what we tend to do. And if you can pull yourself back to being in that moment, you'll figure everything else out. You just go moment to moment.
It's real. It's real. And I am enjoying my life more now than I did before.
Yeah.
Like I might not, I had these super highs and super lows before. And now I'm just kind of at this kind of, my general state is about, a couple levels higher. I'm not getting those highs. I'm not be able to go anywhere or do that. But I'm just having this, my whole life is just operating a couple frequencies higher. And I'm enjoying the small things, the little moments. I rewatched the entire season of Game of Thrones with my mom.
Aww.
And she never saw it before. And we snuggle up and watch Game of Thrones. And she even watched Drag Race with me.
Oh. That's so cute.
We watched some Drag Race and she's just, she's she loves the costumes. She's all about the costumes. She loves the costumes. So
remember when they used to make their own costumes? Now they show up with designer stuff,
What happened to the design challenges? That was part, it was like Project Runway meets, and now you have to have a lot of money in production value just going in on it. You don't even make it.
Now they send them a list of what all the themes are going to be, and they go out and buy $3,000 costumes. I hate that part of it.
I feel like that's a huge part of the drag culture, right? Because that's who you were. You wanted to be creative and lavish.
And now it's turned into a pay for play.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that I saw that now it's pay to play. If you don't have the money and the resources, you can't even compete. And just
I wanted to ask Mona.
I give Rue all kinds of credit because he has done so much for our community. But at the same time, I think he needs to retire. I would love to see him retire and turn the show over to somebody like Jackie B.
Oh, I love Mom. She brings so much perspective and knowledge and wit. I don't think she's ready yet. 10 more years. I'm ready. We get season 20.
Jackie B is not ready.
I love her. I love her perspective. Love her realness.
The problem is she doesn't like doing drag anymore. If you saw the last 2 episodes of last season, she didn't come in drag. She wore a damn mask. And to me, it was kind of insulting. It was like she was saying, I'll exploit drag and everybody doing drag, but I won't do drag. That's why I say I think it's time for her to retire and go do those things she likes to do, like hosting shows and singing songs, and give the show to somebody else.
Interesting. So who makes your outfits, Mona?
Yeah, I love your headpiece. I wanted to ask you about that.
My husband is the Bob Mackey of Denver, and he actually makes all my headpieces, all my costumes, and we work together. We met each other doing a show. We're actors, so we met each other in a play, and then we've just worked on this whole thing together. And a lot of people say we're the power couple.
Ooh, I love it.
Power couple of Denver.
Cute.
There is no power in that bottom. I'll tell you right now.
I used to be a designer. I used to have a clothing company, and I would do a lot of the East Coast queens. I would do a lot. I would do all the cherry stuff and in DC and a lot of it was really fun. And for me, I would go to Home Depot. Home Depot was my bitch. I would go to Home Depot was where I would get my drag material.
Yeah, you would not believe some of the places.
Home Depot that's where we would go. Home Depot was where we would get our drag material.
Yep. It's serious. It's unbelievable what you can make into a costume if you really think creative about it.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Speaking of creativity, when you run dry, when your well runs dry, how do you find inspiration? How do you get that fire back ignite? What do you do? What do you recommend to the creatives that are watching from all over the world that are like, oh, I'm in a writer's block. I can't write. I don't want to sing. I don't want to perform. I don't want to tell jokes. I don't know. Where do you get, how do you refill that well? What do you do?
Well, really, the answer I have for that is that for me, I've never really had the well run dry. I've wanted to perform since I was a little kid. I've been doing it my whole life. And even when I was laying in the hospital and they didn't think I'd get up and walk again, I'm going, I got to get back and do my shows. I got shows to do. It's just, I've never had the well run dry. Now, that being said, I think you can get tired. And if you do, take a break. Just take a break and come back to it. Sometimes you just need that rejuvenation.
So who's your muse? Would you say your husband is your muse? Like, who is your
muse? Well, he likes to say that I'm his Barbie doll, that he makes costumes that makes me wear them, do I have a muse? I've been inspired by a lot. I mean, Joan Rivers was a huge inspiration on me. And so was Roseanne Barr. Roseanne was, even though everybody hates her now, which I think is stupid anyway.
What exactly did she say? I don't know. I'm out of touch.
I think I heard it was like some racist remarks. And
yeah, it was. But I mean, at the same time, I'm like, she's no racist. I mean, if you look at what the show was saying and look at the things she's done her whole life, she's not a racist. She's an idiot and she said something stupid when she shouldn't have, but she's not a racist. She's just a mess. But like I said, I love the oddballs.
What's your muse, Maria? Where do you get your inspiration from?
Wow, I never thought about that. Other strong women, I feel like when I watch something really empowering, it just makes me feel like, yeah, let's do this. Like, it motivates me. And so I'm like, yeah, I want to be part of this. I want, she's amazing, or like those kind of stories, like the oddballs, like Mona says, I get my inspiration from the misfits, the people, the world of the misfits, you never fit right in. You always were kind of an oddball. Like, all my life I was an oddball. So I always had to make my own space. And like, all my friends were kind of the oddballs of their groups. Like, I'm a fat Mexican Filipino who likes anime and weird, like, spiritual, like, occult things, and above out of many other things. So it's like, there's no box here, there's no box. So I feel like I draw a lot of that inspiration from those other misfits in the world.
Love it.
And I appreciate them.
Love it.
And you're inspiring other little girls is what you're doing.
Oh, and that's a huge thing. Also, thinking about women and like just them feeling empowered too, because that's such a it's so rough. Women always feel like they have to shut down, they have to shrink themselves, and I'm like, you don't have to shrink yourself. You don't have to feel I can't shrink myself even if I wanted to. So let's take up space together.
And that's what I was saying. My message to everyone is those things in you that people try to say you should be ashamed of are the things that make you the incredible person you are today.
Exactly.
So don't be ashamed of them at all.
Never.
That is what we teach at Misfits, and that's what I've been preaching, is transformative comedy. Taking the thing that makes you stand out. Yes, Maria, yes.
Thank you, boo.
Taking that thing that is your darkest moment and not only accepting it, but turning it into your superpower.
Yep.
Turning it in, and if that is the art of life. If you can take the thing that you are most ashamed of, take the thing that everyone has made fun of you for, and not only say, okay, but thank the universe for it and turn it now into your superpower. I think that is really something that everyone needs to do. What would you say your superpower is, Miss Mona Lott?
I actually have a T-shirt that says, "I'm a drag queen. What's your superpower?" And people,
yo, do it.
When I'm not in drag, you would never think I'm a drag queen by any sort of way. So people think it's hysterical because they think it's funny.
Do you have a photo?
What's that?
Do you have a photo of you out of drag just so we could see?
Oh, out of drag? I don't
Just
know how do I
curious.
get
I'm always like so curious about the transformation of what.
want to see the transformation. Oh God, you're gonna be scared. Get where?
Oh, stop!
It's like
I'm
Halloween.
curious. Is that a faux
I
pas?
have.
Are you allowed to ask a drag queen to do that? I don't know. Is
Oh,
that like?
please.
Is that
I
bad?
am not uptight like that in any way. Did I lose you?
No, we're here. We're here, girl. We're here for you. We're here for you.
Okay. Let me see if I can figure out how to find one and post it.
Okay, so I did drag once in my life, and it was at Georgetown for my fraternity's reunion. And I went to the same fraternity as Bill Clinton and all of these major, and it was at his embassy in DC. And I rolled up with this neon orange bob wig, and these feathers, a sexy black dress, these boots, these nails. And I walk in, and it was a co-ed fraternity, by the way. And so I walk in, and everyone's like, oh my God, I cannot believe that Masha would wear that dress to this event. And everyone thought I was the other Russian girl, Masha. And then when she came in, they were like, wait, if that's not Masha, then fuck, that's Igor. And let me tell you, it was amazing for the first hour, but then the second hour, right, I had to go to the bathroom and I had to fix my stuff. And that's why I realized girls go to the bathroom together, because it takes a village to keep this going all night. So I would walk in and I was like, oh my God, my nail broke. One girl would have, like, she had some glue. Then I'm like, oh, this is it. And another girl would whip out of her purse something. Like, I felt like one of those like cars at NASCAR, like pulling in, and everybody was like working on me.
Oh my God.
I was like, this is real. Like, this is real. Now I understand why girls come in it like with the troop, because it's just like a car going into the pit stop, and then now I'm ready.
So I have a question, Mona. So you know, like there's drag kings now, and I just learned maybe the last couple years that there are drag queens that are they call them female born, like you're born a female, you identify being a female. What's your take on
bio
that?
queens.
Sorry?
She froze.
Well, they're called bio queens.
Oh, bio queens. Yeah,
I usually try to deflect the question as much as possible, because anymore it's a political hot button which side you take. But my thing is, I'm old school, you know, I'm old school. And drag used to be about the transformation. It was being, you know, how do you make yourself look more? So to me, to be a woman and being a drag queen, there's no transformation. It doesn't seem like drag to me. But at the same time, I have to say, power to those women. If that's what they want to do, go do it. All the more power to you, you know. I think the only problem I have is when they start trying to say all drag is valid, you know, all drag is valid. You have to like all drag. And I'm like, no, I don't have to like it. I can say it's okay and you can do it, but I don't have to like it. Just like I like music, but I hate country music. I don't have to like country music, you know. So it's all music. So I say, you know, bio queens, if you want to do it, go for it, you know. Whatever floats your boat.
All right. I was just curious. I mean, I didn't, you know, I wasn't trying to push any buttons. I was genuinely curious because there's a new show.
I said, but you know, these kids with their whole cancel.
Right. I mean, the younger generations for sure. It's definitely a different perspective and a different view, and I get that. And I totally understand too. Like you know, you're old school and you had to go through certain things, so of course it shapes your perspective. Even for me, I was watching this.
You're welcome,
show.
Ray.
Sorry.
I was like, you're welcome, Ray.
No, we sure don't go to the bathroom by ourselves. But I was watching this show called Legend, where it's about, like, you know, the house of Escada. I don't remember which one, but you know what I mean. And the Vogue, you know, the voguing, and there's one house that's all cisgendered women. And me being a cisgendered woman, even I was like feeling some type of way, like, wait, isn't this for like the transgender community? Like, isn't it? So I'm not like hating or shaming. I just was like, interested in the thoughts of like, you know, is that, you know, because it was their thing. So I was just curious, and you know, I'm still learning every day.
Yeah, and like I saw that troupe on Legacy too, and that's the same thing I say. You know, to me, they're not drag queens; they're doing burlesque, and I don't think any less. I don't think any less of it.
Right.
It's just called something else. You know,
I like that. I like that concept.
If they want to call it drag, you know,
Okay.
who might say they can't.
Mm-hmm.
So, last question before we go. What do you hope society is going to take away from this time of introspection? So all of us are taking a pause. The playing field has been leveled in many ways, and it also has shined a spotlight on the inequality throughout our society. And we're going to come out of this. What would be the one thing that you would hope people will stick with, realize? What permanent change do you hope will happen when this pandemic is over?
Well, you know, it's kind of an oxymoron, like my husband, and but really being in isolation like we have been and being locked down, I think we've actually become closer and been more communication. Something like what we're doing right now, I don't know if this would have happened before COVID.
Definitely not. Like how with London, UK, you know, Denver, LA, all of this. This is amazing.
My husband had a birthday in April, and normally we would have just celebrated with ourselves. But because we couldn't go anywhere, I contacted his friends clear from Rochester, New York, and they all showed up for his birthday party online. And if we weren't doing COVID, that wouldn't have happened.
Right.
So I think, you know, I think that's probably the thing I want to see is that we look at all these new ways of communication and we stay closer now.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
I hope that, I definitely hope that we still keep this up, that we still connect, that even though we might be able to meet people in person, we still connect with we still stay connected globally. And I mean, that global consciousness is super important. What about you, Maria?
Same. I was thinking community. Like, I really want our society to just be more community based, you know, and I'm not trying to get too political right now, but like, less just capitalistic as far as just like trying to make a quick buck, you know, like just making sure we're taking care of each other a little bit more, you know, and just like you said, community, just being more community based.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. I'm trying to think, what would I want people to take away? I think a big thing is about being mindful and just being mindful and not being so self-serving. For me, my personal journey, it pushed me to live a life of service and switching gears and stop living life for yourself, but start living for other people, and how much more satisfying life can be when you are on your knees and giving service. Right, Mona?
That's right.
All about service. So thank you guys so much for participating. I want to thank Colin and Ray and Cassidy and all our fans from all over the world for listening.
Yes.
Mona, yes. Testicle. I don't know her. Do you know Miss Testicle?
No, I don't.
Well, we got to
look her up.
Sounds like she sounds like she'd be, you know, a friend of yours.
She sounds like a good time.
So
I just want to say you are amazing. You're so fabulous. And I'm so glad I got to meet you.
Well, can I just say thank you for having me? I've had a great time. And I'm so glad I've met you guys now. And now I have a reason to go back to LA.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Love you, Mona. Stay in touch. Congratulations on all the new projects. Keep us in the loop and we'll definitely promote for you.
I will. Thank you so much, guys.
Ciao. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.